What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. Season 2, Episode 3. Here's your Kayak Bassin podcast. We got a good show lined up for you tonight. An awesome guest, someone who's been huge for the local kayak fishing community. Him and his team, I should say, have been huge for the local kayak fishing community. You guys know how this thing works. Give me an audio check. Let me know you can hear me and see me. All right. Say hi, share this up, like it, tag a friend. You know how to do all that stuff. Help us get the word out about this podcast so that we can introduce some people to kayak fishing and to the awesome community we have here in the state of Indiana. So again, if you can, give me those thumbs up in the comments and say hi. Appreciate you, Troy and Justin, jumping in here, and we're gonna get right into it tonight. We're not gonna waste any time. We've got a lot to talk about, and we want to do it as quickly as possible for you guys and not hold you up too long here this evening. But I'm excited about tonight's guest, and I think you guys will be as well. All right. Tonight we are talking all about Moving Water Outfitters. You see it on the hat here. You see it on the screen over there. Yep, got it right. Moving Water Outfitters. And tonight's guest is Chris Snodgrass, owner of Moving Water Outfitters. I'm going to bring him in right now, and we're going to get to it. All right.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
What's going on?
Not much, bud.
I'm good. It's been busy. It's been crazy. The weather and everything else going on right now. I'm a little exhausted, which is why I'm cracking a Red Bull tonight.
There you go.
And to get through this, and then I gotta pull an all-nighter, try and get some work done. So
all right.
I see you're in the office too. It looks like.
I am very much so. This is my current home where I pretty much live all day. So
yeah.
You know, when I'm not at the shop, I'm a construction project manager, and I'm still living life out of the home office for now. So
right. Yep. Yeah. Same here. I mean, this is always my office, and when it's not fishing season, and then when it's fishing season, I work out of a minivan. So
there you go.
You know, I can't complain too much, I guess. But
Sure.
you know, it's definitely been a wild winter, and it seems like these winters, I keep talking about this, are getting later and later into the year.
Absolutely.
You know, it's crazy to me that I am somewhat concerned about the March events in this state.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. So one thing that we always, I mean, assuming there's not ice anywhere, a lot of people, this is just a little tidbit of information. A lot of people always look at absolute water temp. If fish tend to actually, especially bass, tend to react a lot more to a change in water temp.
Yeah.
Even going from like 37 to 39.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. Everybody always has these magic numbers. Oh, at 55 degrees, this is going to happen or whatever. A lot of times, if you look at water temp changes, or as you're paddling around or motoring around or pedaling around, if you start to notice as you get back in a certain cove and it's 3 degrees warmer than somewhere else, that's a really good indication for early year that you're starting to dial something in there. So
absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. And Alan and I did a little seminar, if you will, 2 years ago now, I think it was, at one of the local shows. And in that seminar, we related fish a lot to human behavior. Yep. And this is a perfect example of that. When you've been cooped up all winter long, and it's been negative degrees, 30 degrees feels amazing.
Sure.
And it's sunny, you're out there. You're getting out of the house, you're going out there. 40 degrees, 50 degrees, you're really on the move, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fish is the same way. I mean, they've been in this cold water all winter long, hunkered down, and they're ready to get out. They're ready to move around. They're ready to do their thing. And you get just a little bit of a warm front and warm rain on top of some sunny, warm days. Oh my goodness. It can be great. It can be amazing. So
yeah,
that's a great point.
Yeah. One thing I've learned, since we're also a fly shop, along with, the other half of our business is the fly side, entomology is a big thing. So study of bugs and, so one of the things I've kind of learned over the last couple of years is that, the sun, and the change in temperature will actually cause bug hatches, especially up in like coves and shallow areas and things like that. And what happens is, man, those bait fish, they all start to move up, and they'll feed during that warm period and that increase in temperature, even though it might only be 36 to 39 degrees. And a lot of people are looking at 39 degrees thinking, man, it's colder and, you know, really cold. They're still going to be down deep. But the reality is they don't realize that it was 36 degrees this morning. And that temperature drive will change the pattern, where you'll get some really good sized fish that will follow the bait fish up into the shallows, even in the cold weather. So.
Absolutely. And this time of year, when you do have warm rains that come up and they start to wash down these valleys and these gullies and these creeks, and they bring all of that, the bug life with it, everything comes in, and those fish suck right up to that bank. Like you said, because the bait fish are there. Hey, this is a great conversation. It's not what I know. What derailed us. But it's a great preview to a episode we're going to do here in 2 or 3 weeks. I think it is. We're going to do a spring tactics, and we're going to talk a lot about this. Very cool. But another cool thing about this, it kind of shows that you're more than just a kayak shop owner. You know, I'm sure a lot of people who are going to watch this have met you, you know, either at the expo or at the shop, or seen you on the Indiana Kayak Anglers go lives. But there's going to be a lot of people watching this probably don't know much about you, don't really know your background, and don't really know the background of Moving Water Outfitters. So why don't we kind of dive into that real quick, starting with, like, you know, you as a fisherman, and then what took you down the path of becoming a kayak shop owner?
Yeah, man, I'd love to unpack that. So I grew up, ever since I was a little kid, as far back as I can remember. My dad had me in a fishing boat with my grandpa, and especially down in like Green River Reservoir down in Kentucky, doing stripers and wipers and stuff like that, throwing big spoons. And I can remember that's where, that's the origin, was right there. And then jumped forward through elementary school and through high school. I had a big interest in it, and everything from, you know, elementary school, you go to the local Walmart and pick up the pre-rigged purple worm and go throw it in the farm pond or whatever else. And, you know, that's kind of where the passion for fishing started. So I was a fisherman before a kayak fisherman, for sure. And once I got into high school, I got really big into river fishing and smallmouth. So, and learning the rivers, learning the creeks. Most local guys know Josh Shrinko. Kind of grew up with that guy down the south side of Indy, and we had little John boats and stuff that we would run around up on the White Rivers, and I'm not sure if they still do it, but there was a Wednesday night tournament that was fished out of Broad Ripple.
Yes, I don't think they do it anymore, but I remember those. It's funny, I didn't know that. We've probably crossed paths.
We very well may have it.
So when I was very young, that's kind of one of the areas I got started in. So
was it? Okay, nice. Yeah. So we would show up there with I had a little John boat, he had a John boat. We would run those and go fish those, and that's where I got started, and kind of befriended a guy named Chris Walker. He was kind of a legendary guy around here in the community several years ago, but he was one of the OGs of smallmouth fishing in Indiana. He had a guide business, and he kind of got me hooked on the moving water stuff, and it's kind of been my passion ever since. I've grown that knowledge, you know, kind of all through college. Fished up I went to Purdue University, so I fished a lot up on the Wildcat and some of the waters up Tippecanoe River, some of those things up around there. I picked up somewhere in there about junior year in high school. Basically, when I could start driving, I picked up a $250 Pelican at Dick's.
Nice.
And that's where it started, man. So we would do creeks and rivers, and so that's kind of my fishing background. And then so moving forward, got through college. Like I said, I'm a construction project manager by day, so I'm not always in the shop, but so then so basically Wildcat Creek, a lot of guys know them. Chad, who was the owner of that, decided to work at the family business back in Crawfordsville. So when they were closing, Mike, who's my business partner and the other owner, came to me and said, "Hey, there's gonna be an opportunity here. Do you have any interest?" And so we kind of combined his passion of fly fishing and my passion of kayaks, and he's also very, very knowledgeable in kayaks as well. So
yeah, no joke. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it was a good pair between the two of us, and and then May of 2018 is when Moving Water Outfitters started. So that's
Right.
yep. So they Wildcat ended on a Friday, and MWO started up on a Monday the following.
Right, man. $250 investment in a Pelican leads you to the path of owning a
Crazy, right?
kayak shop, carrying, every variety there is. And how amazing is that?
Yeah.
And you guys did a major remodel last year. I think it was last spring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or
Last spring. Yeah. So we originally we had kind of half of what our space was. So imagine our fly fishing side and kayaks all crammed into half of that little front retail space. So there was a yoga studio next door of all things.
Yeah.
Once they left, we signed up for that space, renovated all into one kind of nice retail front there, and then we also picked up. We have a pretty. We can keep about anywhere from 60 to 100 boats back. We have a warehouse space behind, kind of towards the back at the shop there too. So a lot, you'll see anywhere from 15 to 25 boats up front, more probably average 20, something like that, maybe 15. But we've got a whole warehouse in the back of inventory as well. So
yeah. And you guys came in at a great time in the sport and in the industry. I mean, you couldn't have made a better investment at a better time. I got to imagine, and we've not talked about this, but I've got to imagine there's probably some thoughts already of how do we expand it even further, because there's so much going on in this industry right now, and so many varieties of kayaks. So I got to think that's probably maybe 5-10 years down the road, but you've got to probably be thinking like, how can we
absolutely
expand this? Because every time I'm at that shop, it's packed. It's packed with fly guys and kayakers.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing, we're fishermen at heart. That's what we do. Also recreation kayaks. The one thing that we'll probably never dive into is the $200 kayak that you can buy at
sure.
I don't know, pick your big box store, Tractor Supply, or something like that. That's just not a world we live in. We don't know them. We don't know that product well. Also, most of that's all made in China, and it's usually pretty poor quality. So all the brands we live in and everybody we carry, they're all made in the USA. We all have really incredible support. We actually had a brand early on that we had quality issues with, and we dropped them. And I'm pretty open about that. That was Feel Free. We had them for our first season, and it's not that they don't. When their boats come in, they're fine in quality, but we were finding that there were thin spots in their boats and some other issues that
longevity just wasn't there.
Yeah, the longevity of the boats, and it was the frequency of issues with them too. That it was 1 out of every 10 or whatever was having it, whereas with all of our other brands, it's 1 out of 100 or even greater at that point. So,
yeah. Just a liability. It comes with liability issue.
Really. It does. Yeah. So it's less liability. It's really more customer satisfaction. I mean, the last thing we want to do is have somebody go out there and drop a boat in the water, and then they come back and say, "Hey, there's the wheel and the keel's leaking on me," and then we have to either swap it out or do a warranty deal, and it's just a pain. And but no.
You guys have a lot of great models, though. I mean, you guys you carry them all for the most part. The big names, right? So we got New Canoe, Jackson, Bonafide, Native, Old Town in there as well.
Hurricane's in there. That's part of kind of in that mix as well. They're a little different. They're the hard plastic boat, but
you just picked up Wilderness this season.
We did. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Picked up Wilderness. That was a brand that we wanted to bring online. Just that was a natural growth pattern there. They make a really high quality boat.
Sure.
Really fits in well with the mix of kayaks that we already have. So
absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah, and they've been a staple in the industry for a long time.
The Ride 116 or 115, I think, was the first fishing kayak. So first really dedicated one. And Hans, when he was there, and then he went to Bonafide and came back. I mean, that's kind of they're definitely the OG brand, man.
Absolutely. And making some noise today, New Canoe.
Yeah, they dropped the Unlimited. So
the Unlimited, yeah. So I have to ask you,
as a dealer, we knew it was coming, and we saw some prototype drawings and some things.
Okay.
And we've been really excited about it. It's a really nice boat. It bridges the gap between the Frontier 12 and the Pursuit. So Frontier 12 is super wide, super stable. It's meant for a dad and a kid, or put a trolling motor on it, or it's just not a boat though that you're going to want to paddle a long distance or all day on a lake. I mean, it's just not. But it certainly has a place, especially outdoorsmen and hunters. Like I said, a dad and a kid. It's a great platform for that. It's also a great platform for a motor option. XI3. It's even rated up to the little Honda that you can put on the back of it. Little Honda outboard.
Share it here.
Yeah. So that's a couple images, but I hope we can share that now that they went live and announced it. But yeah, that's the boat. So if you look at it, it's a real nice. They kind of took the best of all their kayaks. So it's got the stability. It's a very stable, a good wide stable platform still. However, it's going to paddle more like a Pursuit. You can tell the hull kind of comes more to a point there. It's going to be a lot better from that standpoint. And then I'll tell you the other major upgrade is, man, the deck in it. It's like the Flint. They've got the deep gutters for the drainage. It's got 7 scupper holes, I think. It's got the recessed scuppers for big actually read. So you can put the large transducers up in there.
Like your 3-in-1 from Lowrance or your Mega. Nice.
Yeah. So lots of really good options. We're really excited to have it. So
Justin here is saying he's ready to come check it out. So
that's right.
When can we see it?
The good news is we have our demo as well as one inventory boat arriving first of the week. So it will be here for the show. So we're really excited about that. We also have we have a substantial order coming in March as well that we can.
Nice.
So come demo a boat. Hey, what up, Duke?
Duke in the house. Nice.
That's right.
Merlin here saying native, loves the native.
There we go.
Speaking of native, I've been working on mine. As we talked about with everything, and we're going to get into this, what's going on in the kayak industry, but it can be hard to get hands on kayaks right now. So as people know, I was getting the Bonafide. Yep. My kayak is going to come in a little bit later than we originally anticipated. Yep. Not a big deal. I've got the native, so I've been rigging it up, and I was doing that right as I was getting ready to come on and talk to you. And I finally got all my wiring done for my XI3. I went to the shop. What was it? I think it was Thursday of last week, maybe, and picked up the XI3. Got with Mike and got that. But excited about the Bonafide coming still. But I'm really pumped up to try this XI3 on the native. And I've got it kind of set up temporary because eventually, I'm going to go to the Bonafide. And so I'm going to do a little video and kind of share how I did that for people. It's super easy to install. I'm pretty impressed with this, how easy it is to mount with the quick release and all that. One Objective, I got to give them a huge shout out. I don't want to take away from what we're talking about here, but I do got to give a huge shout out to One Objective. We're not sponsored by them or anything like that. I had ordered a mount for my Bonafide. Bonafide doesn't come in, so I ordered another one for the native. Well, they've had all those ice and storms and everything. They've been so great at communicating with me every day, kind of letting me know what's going on and staying in touch with me, changing my shipping location for me because I'm getting ready to head down to Murray. So huge shout out to One Objective. They make a quality product, and customer service hands down. It's my first experience with them, and it's been absolutely wonderful. So huge shout out to them. And I think you guys use when you guys do some rigging sometimes too. Yeah. So
we don't necessarily stock it just because kind of a lot of times every rigging's different depending what we're doing and how we're doing it. But yeah, we work with One Objective quite a bit. So their mounts are really nice. They're Bonafide, and their native mounts are really nice. And you hit the nail on the head. So last season I ran an XI3 on an F12, but with the quick release bracket, I could easily switch it over to the Pursuit in minutes. So the way I ran it was I had a battery in the back. Basically, I had a plug in the back and a plug in the front, so I could just take the battery, switch it to the other kayak, use a quick release, take that, move the trolling motor over, plug them both in, and I was good to go. So it's come a long way, man. that little Motor Guide XI3 is a sweet little option.
It is. And now you don't even have to cut the shaft. They've got a 32-inch model, a kayak specific model,
Yep,
if you will,
exactly.
which is great. Before, I think it came in 45 and you'd have to chop that, which would kill your warranty. So they fixed that. And they've done a great job. So you guys sell the XI3 along with all this other great stuff. So, well, let's get into, you talked about having this new boat for the show coming up. Let's talk about this show and what you guys got coming up, because this is going to be big. Previous years, this event was held at the Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show.
That's correct. Yep.
Unfortunately, due to everything that's going on with COVID and the state needing those facilities, they weren't able to have that event. So you guys have taken it on yourself to put together a really nice event. And let's talk about that. Let's tell people.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So the first thing is it was, I mean, with COVID and everything, and with planning it, and with the way all the rules were, there's just no way that the Renfros who run the Indy Boat Sport and Travel Show were going to be able to do it. So as soon as we found that out, we started looking into how can we do it in a safe and relatively controlled manner. So that was the first thing, was can we do it in a safe manner? Because opinions aside on COVID, the last thing we want to do is put anybody at risk. So we flushed that out. We worked with the county and everything, and got our COVID planning. And we're excited, man. We're able to do it. We're basically, if you've been to the shop, we have a large parking lot out just to the side of the shop there. We're going to have a big 40 by 80 tent, and in there we're going to have a couple things. We've got booths set up, so we do have commitments from our kayak vendors. So it's not going to be on the scale of the Indy Boat Sport and Travel Show, but we will have the latest kayak models set up. You can look through them. We'll have some accessories. We'll have an XI3 on a couple boats, or on a boat out there that you can check out. The other big thing that we're going to have in there that we felt is really important is we're going to have a demo pool. So we took the dive, and we actually bought a demo pool. So really? Specifically for this event. So we believe in, our number one goal is to get the customer in the right kayak. There's nothing, it happens all the time. Somebody goes and buys another kayak somewhere. It's either they go the Dick's route and they spend $200 and realize there's something better. Their buddy goes and buys a native or a bona fide, and they compare them. And then, next thing you know, that $200 kayak ends up on Craigslist and then our shop next week. I mean, that's a story we hear all the time at the shop. Right. Or the other thing is they order a kayak online based on YouTube reviews, there's nothing wrong with that. We love the walkthroughs. They're excellent, but there's just nothing that compares to putting a butt in a seat, floating on water, to get the feel of the kayak, to really understand, hey, when I'm sitting here, this cup holder's here, my tackle's going to be here. And everybody has a different opinion on how they use it. Everybody fishes different ways in different bodies of water. We have creek and river guys that barely ever go into a reservoir. That's going to be a different boat than somebody who all they do is fish big open water.
Right. Demo. We say it all the time.
I can't emphasize that enough. So that's why we take the time and effort and commitment we bought a demo pool. We do it all through the summer. We've been doing it for years at the February event at the fairground at the bigger show when it's there. So we just felt it was important enough. And honestly, the community reached out. Once it was canceled, people called the shop and said, hey, is there still going to be something early in the season? I really want to get into the sport, but I want to try a couple different kayaks. I'm evaluating these 3 models. I want to try them before I commit to it. Hey, we heard you, we listened. And that's really it was a carrying on the tradition of past shows, as well as, we heard people asking for it. So we're doing it. And we're excited, man. Thankfully, COVID is declining in the state of Indiana, so we're able to do it. We can do it safely. And it gets most of us that have cabin fever, man, even if we have to talk from 6 feet apart, it gets us out, and we can talk kayak fishing. We can talk shop. We can talk the upcoming season. It's going to be good. So.
I hear that. So February 25th to the 28th is the dates on that, right?
Yeah, so next Thursday, this upcoming Thursday,
Yep.
through Sunday. So normally we're closed on Sunday. We are open on Sunday. So it's
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the show. And then it does carry over on Monday. Monday's a little different. We're offering private appointments. So
cool.
high-risk people, anybody that's uncomfortable in the larger group setting, we definitely didn't want you guys to feel left out. So Monday it's a private demo. Basically, it'll be just one or two people in the tent with you. We'll walk you through the different kayaks. You'll have a chance to try whatever you want. And if you are interested in the private option, just call the shop and schedule a time to swing in on Monday. So
absolutely. Very cool. Very cool.
yeah.
And standard business hours on that, 10 to 5 or?
No, it's actually a little extended. So
Okay.
if you flip back to the slide there you have, it kind of summarizes the business hours.
Let's see here.
I don't know if that's easy to do or not, but
Yeah, it's fairly easy. Let's see here. Okay, there we
there we
go.
go. Yeah, so it's
10 to 7 Thursday, 10
yep.
to 8 on Friday.
Oh, you slid over. Driver back. There you go.
Yeah, it's automatically doing that. So,
okay. But yeah, so it is a little extended. So it goes to 7 on Thursday, it goes to 8 on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday we're calling it at 5.
okay.
Just everybody get home in the evening there. So
Nice.
yeah,
very good. And it's hard to have a conversation about anything substantial right now without getting into the COVID discussion a little bit and how it impacts things. And like you said earlier, regardless of your opinion, COVID has had a huge impact in a positive way as well on the industry, getting people outdoors, kind of forcing them outdoors, if you will. And because of just the natural growth of our sport, and that the industry as a whole, I mean, it is just flowing over the top right now with customers, and it's creating kind of an issue with keeping up with demand for these kayak manufacturers.
kind of an issue is an understatement.
Sure. Okay.
It's we work with a lot of industry, even just we're pretty tied into the outdoor industry in general. So
yeah,
it's been wild. The everything from mountain bikes, road bikes, to kayaks, to depth finders, to
RVs.
Humminbird, Lawrence, RVs. I mean, if it's outdoors, it's been impacted, and demand has shot up, and supply has not been able to keep up with it. So
yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, because I think it's important to note, people watching this, maybe thinking to themselves, hey, I want to get in my first kayak. Hey, maybe I want to upgrade my kayak this year, or just get a newer year model. Kind of talk about the impacts to the customer right now and what people need to be prepared for.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate you bringing this up. So, to be quite frank, the way it works is we put in a lot of preseason orders. So last November and October, we pretty much we set our orders all the way through the summer. And that's pretty typical. That's what all of us dealers do. So right now, on a normal non-COVID time, you could come to us, and if we didn't have the kayak in stock, you could special order a kayak. That's not really the case right now. We cannot special order what we have on order is what we're going to get this year. Now, we are very fortunate. We worked with our reps. We do have a lot of boats coming in this year, but in a lot of ways, if you want a certain kayak in a certain color, the best thing to do is, if we don't have it in stock, the best thing to do is what we call pre-sell off a future order. So we're getting orders almost monthly. Every 4 to 6 weeks we get orders, and this is consistent with like AC or all the big online guys, ACK. If you look at like Paddle VA and those guys down in Virginia, it's the same message from them.
Sure.
We may not have it in stock, but we're going to have it coming in a couple weeks. Best thing to do is get a deposit on. The way we work, it's a refundable deposit. There's no commitment to it, but that does at least reserve when that boat arrives. We call you, hey, your Redline SS 127's here. That you put your $500 deposit down on, and it reserves that boat for that person. If they decide they don't want it, or if they decide we can transfer that deposit to a different boat, whatever. But the best thing is if you have an idea, or if you know you want a boat, the best thing that we can recommend is to try to get a deposit on one, to hold one, because they are we especially our prime models. they're just not staying in the store right now. So
Right. So to sum that up, guys, if you're listening, if you know what you want, absolute know what you want, call Moving Waters right now, tomorrow, during business hours. Give them a call, talk to Mike or Jessica, and get your kayak order, put your down payment on it, because it's tough. It's going to be tough. Anywhere you go, it's going to be the same story.
Yep.
If you're watching this and you're in Texas and you're not going to drive to Indiana to buy your kayak, do the same thing in Texas.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So,
yeah, and that's consistent, and that's a message from our reps. That's our bona fide, our big adventure reps. Everybody, that's the message. The other cool thing is like if you come to the show and you demo kayaks and we don't have the boat you want, if you put the deposit down at the show on the March order that's coming in 3 or 4 weeks, we still honor the show pricing. You lock in the pricing there, all is good. So it just means you might not take a boat home from the show. Now we do have a fair amount of boats in inventory right now teed up for the show, but if a certain model and a certain color that you're looking for, we probably have one coming in March. And the best thing to do at that point is just put the deposit down on it. And when it comes here in March in a couple of weeks after the show, swing back by the shop and we'll settle up at that point. But
nice. So you mentioned show pricing. So let's talk about that real quick. Can you go over some of the details of some of the deals guys might see at this event?
It varies. It varies within our manufacturers and what we're allowed to do and what we're allowed to announce publicly. So the best thing to do is come to the show and talk to us.
There's going to be good deals. That's what you guys need to know. There's going to be good deals. If you're familiar with the boat shows in the past, the Indianapolis Boat Sport,
it'll be
similar.
All of our pricing, all of our show pricing this year will be in line with what you guys have seen discount wise, like at the boat show last year and previous years. So
there you go. Nice. All right. Very cool. And I'm sure you guys are going to be doing some stuff with accessories and things like that too.
Yeah. So that one, I can tell you, we do 15% off accessories if you buy a boat. Also, you get a free catch carbonate board. Any kayak that goes out of our shop this year, you get a free catch carbonate board. So
nice. Is it going to have Moving Waters engraved in it? Looking good.
Some of them don't because we have a mix of both now, but we got stickers, free stickers, and all kinds of good jazz that come along with that. So
awesome.
Yeah, so that's just a little perk. We have a great relationship with Ketch and Duke and those guys and Nick up there. We love those guys, and it's just an accessory that we think everybody should have, and they make a good product, and we can work a sweet little deal with the way we do it to be able to give one of those out with every boat that goes out the door this year. So
that's great. And like you said, it not only is it a quality product, it's made in America. Duke, like yourself, has been huge for the local kayak fishing community nationally, but locally, everything he's doing to support the different groups and series. I could just speak for HKB, the Turkey Bowl, the state championship that we have coming up. He's been a major supporter of those things and helping us with trophies and plaques and that sort of stuff. So, doing a great thing there. And then also, I believe, I might be mistaken, there may be one that's still not, but I think that every series in Indiana this year requires you to have a catch board. Catch board's the only option now because they're just the other models out there. They're not as accurate. There's some issues with them, and we know Catch is the standard. They've set the standard. They've got a quality board, and a judge knows when they're judging a fish on any given catch board that it's going to be accurate and true. So on top of making a great product, you got to have it to fish these tournaments anyway.
When we stock Catch, we just got a big shipment of the Catch version of the IDs. It was Jim Strunk and the Grubby guys. Catch kind of took that over and made a variation of that, and it's awesome. It snaps right onto the board or slides right onto their board. It's a really nice little integrated piece. We've got never lost tethers, so all that good stuff. You can tether them up to your boat.
Absolutely.
It's for sure.
This community in Indiana, the kayak fishing community here is so strong. A lot of times when you think about bass fishing, you think about Tennessee, you think about Texas, you think about the southern states, the Bible Belt, if you will. But in kayak fishing, I don't think people outside of Indiana realize how great of a community and how large of a community we have here.
Sure.
It's outstanding. I think now.
Oh,
Did I freeze?
you did freeze. There you go.
We're
You're
back.
back.
We're back. So I
Yeah.
think right now, even in the KBF Challenge Series, Indiana, the last I looked, had the most entries, which just shows you, like in March, you would think other states would, right? So we have this great community here, and you guys have been a big part of it. And one thing that you're doing this year, you're partnering with Indiana kayak anglers to host or present, if you will, really this awesome grassroots tournament that's going to run all season long. It's called the Indiana Big Bass Hunt, I believe, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, Indiana or Hoosier Big Bass Hunt, one of the two.
Yeah. Oh, Hoosier, there it is. Hoosier Big Bass Hunt. And that starts March 1st and runs through, I think, October.
Yeah, so we wanted, this was a little bit of my brainchild, and I bounced it off a few different guys. And so there's two things here in Indiana that I've come to see, and part of this is the smallmouth guy in me. But so part of it too, it's a unifying. It was an opportunity that when somebody goes out and fun fishes or pre-fishes, or maybe the guy that's never done a tournament before that's a little intimidated by it, it's a real easy entry point for somebody, because it takes the time pressure component away from the tournament, but it also rewards you for catching 2 large fish. But it also challenges. I mean, we all know there's guys that specialize in largemouth that go out on the pits down south and they crush it and they put up large fish. My question is, can they also go to the Tippecanoe River and put up a 22-inch smallmouth? I don't know.
I'm that guy. I'm like, I feel fairly confident that I can be competitive in the largemouth space. I could, be in the smallmouth space. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to go figure it out. And it's going to challenge me. I'm excited about it.
I also know there's a lot of guys that can go catch a 21 and 22-inch smallmouth on Sugar Creek or Tippy or White River or Whitewater down south, or, but can they go put up a nice largemouth? So that's the really cool component is they, it's kind of the goal, and I forget the exact tagline, but it's kind of crowning the overall best person who's the most balanced, who can put up the highest total, the biggest smallmouth and the biggest largemouth total combined. And IKA is actually running that. So yeah, while we're sponsoring it, and we're helping promote it, it's IKA is actually running it, so it's going all through their stringent judging. It's not us as an outfitter doing the judging or anything like that. So it's actually running through IKA, their normal procedures, so you can have confidence there. The other cool thing is, man, there's already 60-something people, I think 65, 68 people that have signed up. We still got a couple weeks left, several weeks before March 1st, and we break that 100 mark. There's going to be a pretty substantial pot there.
Absolutely.
It's 100. Other than the Tourney X fee that IKA incurs, it's all going back to the pot, and we're kicking in some gift cards with it. What's that?
Brad Oswalt saying 44.75 to win it. I was getting ready to ask you what your prediction was. There's Brad's. What do you think? What do you think it's going to take?
I think it's going to take at least 44. So I think somebody's going to put up a 22. I think 2 22-inch fish and some change is reasonable. So so identifiers. Good point, Justin. 2 things. They're on our website. If you live in Evansville and you're not coming to the show, or you're not going to be at the shop, the way we're doing identifiers, basically we have 3 sticker options. There's the OD green and white. We've got 2 other color options there. They just have to be in the photo. That's it. And there's one of the 3 stickers. They're like $1 or $1.50 on our website. We'll ship them to you. Or there you go, right there. So if you click that one, there's our 3 color options. Or if you're in the shop, you get 2 for free. So if you come up to the show, or anytime if you swing in our retail shop there, we'll give 2 of them to you for free. So
I was just in recently, like I said, to pick up the XI3 for myself. I grabbed some stickers, guys. While we're on the site, check this out after the stream. Don't jump off right now, but after the stream, go obviously give Moving Water Outfitters a like on Facebook, give them a like on Instagram. They're really easy to find. I'll throw out their information again real quick here at the bottom, but they're super easy to find. But their website is awesome, guys. Like, it's got everything you need from fly fishing to kayak bass fishing, everything in between. They even have really great resources for you guys here as well. So check out movingwateroutfitters.com. While we're on there, I just want to give you a quick plug on that because, I've seen a lot of websites in my day doing what I do. And this is a great website, and it's really easy to find what you guys are looking for and order. And then I can tell you guys from experience, anytime you need, just give the shop a call, and they know what they're talking about there. Jess, Mike, everyone, the whole team.
Yep.
They know what they're talking about, and they'll get you what you need. So, but yeah, Hoosier big bass hunt. I'm excited about it. It's going to challenge me. I know it's going to challenge a lot of people. And then, you kind of mentioned, this is great for anyone. I mean, even if it's, a father and son who've never fished a tournament, have no interest in ever fishing major tournaments. It's just a cool little way to challenge themselves, get involved in something, and potentially win, like you said, a nice payout and some gift cards to Moving Waters.
Right. And it is all public water. So it's, that takes out hey, my grandpa's got a pond back here that's got a big 10 pound
Right.
feeding bread to for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It takes that out of play. So it is all public water, GPS tags on the photos, all that good stuff. Same standards. The only difference is it's not your typical identifier. We're using a sticker. It just makes it a little more fun. That way you can slap it on a water bottle. It is sized to be able to fit on the fence of a catch board, but you can put it on a water bottle. I know a lot of the bona fide guys where they have a pod in the middle, they're just going to put it right on the pod because that's always in the backdrop.
Right.
Just, a lot of options there. We kind of just wanted to make it open. And it's honestly, it's just meant to be a fun thing that, that you can do all year long. And when you do catch that 21-inch fish or whatever it is, and it's either pre-fishing or you're just out doing it by yourself for the fun of it. And, now it matters,
Right.
So
Yep. I love it.
That's the excitement of it, man. It kind of, and the other thing too is every tournament you fish, it could be, you might be fishing a grubby tournament and you catch a big fish, still applies. IKA still applies. As long as it's still in the state of Indiana, you're fishing Sayak somewhere, still applies. So in a way, it's a very cohesive way to just try to, in an effort to pull all the community together and in just a fun way, So
Love it. In full transparency, I was actually considering doing something very similar to this.
Nice.
If you guys are familiar with Hoosier Kayak Bass last season, every week I kind of did like this top performers thing, right? And then we started doing top performers plus big bass. And so kind of like one of the ideas I had was I was going to take, and make a spin off of that to do like some sort of big fish challenge where there was like some weekly winners and stuff like this. I love this idea way better. I got to be honest. I love the challenge of the largemouth and the smallmouth. Pitting those two against each other and having to come up with both. I think it's a great way to challenge guys, like we've said multiple times now. And I love this. So I'm excited to fish in it. I'm excited to see others get involved in it. And I can't wait to see some of the big pictures drop on Tourney X this season. So the big fish
trophies. Catch has donated 3 X boards to us. So there's going to be big largemouth, big smallmouth, and there's going to be a drawing for one as well. So a little more information on the drawing one that I think that'll get dropped by IKA here probably next week. But there'll be a reminder that comes out there as well. But so it's a really cool board. It's going to have a custom engraving with the year, the largemouth of the year type thing on it with logos, the IKA logo and our logo and a big fish on it. It's pretty cool. So looking forward to getting those out too. We just sent those to Nick up there at Catch here, and we should get those back so we'll be able to show those off here. So
I love it. Yeah. I've said since I got found the kayak thing, I've said like one thing that's missing is the hardware. When you go on even the small club stuff on the bass boat side, man, you get all kinds of hardware.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got kayak guys who have won gobs and gobs of tournaments, finished in the top multiple, and they got an empty room. There's nothing on their shelf. And
Sure.
so it's finally starting to change. I think Catch and Duke and the team there have been a big part of that, at least here locally, I can speak to.
Sure.
So, and then KBS doing the coins now, that's really cool. Yeah. So it's cool to see we're finally getting some hardware, as you said. I'm excited about that. Hopefully there'll be some back here. SIAC does a really cool cup. I've got some cups, just bragging a little bit here. But no, it's good to see, and the Catch stuff is awesome. Man, I think we've covered a lot tonight. It's been fun, hearing your story a little bit. I want to go back real quick before we wind this down. You talked about fishing the White River. Did you run into Jacob Wheeler at all out there?
I did. I grew up against Jacob Wheeler quite a bit. So, I trade messages with him once in a while throughout the year, and a lot of congratulations too. So I did. He's got a great story, man. He'd show up to the Wednesday night tournaments on his bike, and I actually know the guy that he would hop in the back of the boat with. And he developed relationships with a couple of guys there, and when they needed a second guy in the boat, man, he would jump in and go to town. So,
oh man, he was the king of sitting at the boat ramp and getting a ride. He was the king of it. It's so funny because, and he knows this is true, so he's not gonna get upset talking about it. He was the awkward kid, man. Like he was the awkward homeschool kid, I think he was homeschooled, right? Wasn't he? I don't know, but he was an awkward, goofy kid, and it was so weird to watch him progress into who he is today, man.
I will tell you, he's always been a good stick. There's no
his ability to flip those docks out there on the Broad Ripple stretch was just from a very early age. It was just very precise, very zoned in. And so when you said that, and knowing your age, and I figured that there was some cross-pollination, if you will, there between the two of you. I was around. I fished a little bit of the White River stuff, but I didn't live up here, so I was less frequent up here. But did have some runnings up here and the Bass Federation and stuff. So Hoosier Opens, but that's cool. I was interested if you knew him. All right, guys. Well, I just asked my question of the night really for Chris. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments real quick, and we're gonna wind this thing down here. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Chris, you have anything final words you want to say, or anything that we missed?
Biggest thing, come check out the show next week. Even if you're just looking to get out of the house and talk some fishing, see the new kayaks and see the new colors and all that good stuff. Or if you're not even in the market but you want to try a couple, you're more than welcome. That's what the demo pool is there for. Also, I should plug. We've been working with. So if you know our shop right across the street, we got Alchemy. They're a distillery or a spirits shop. So if you want to go there, you can hang out. There's Sub 16. There's Bub's Burgers. If you want to get your picture on the wall and eat a half pound or a pound burger or whatever his crazy thing is, I challenge you to do that. I have yet to do it, but so we've got lots of good options there. It will be safe. The goal, kind of the theory is we're kind of, while everybody will be within the same area, we're kind of it's a pretty big spread out. So it's not going to be like the Indie Boat Show where you're shoulder to shoulder with people. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great event. So that's really, really the biggest thing. Awesome. Matt, Sub 16 is fire, Matt. I agree. So. Matt
doesn't comment all night, but then when we talk about food, he's on.
There it is.
So we got some more. Everyone's talking. We should have talked. This should have been all about the food.
That's where people like their food, man. So.
Yeah. Everyone's either hungry or, but no, that's great. I appreciate you coming on, Chris. I've been wanting to.
Thanks for having me. So
I've been wanting to get you on here for a while now, and we got to bring you on. Just talk about fishing. I think there in the very beginning, we kind of saw your fishing knowledge come through a little bit. So we got to get on here and just talk fishing here very soon, hopefully. But appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're doing in the community and what you've done with Moving Water Outfitters. I've been a customer since you guys, literally, I think the first week you guys opened, I was in your shop, if I remember right. So I've been a customer since the beginning, and you guys were amazing to me then, and you still are now. And that's what I hear from everyone out there. So you guys are doing awesome things, and we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate it. No, it's supporting the community is the number one pillar in our business. Without the community, we have nothing. It's just the reality of it. So our goal and our pillar is to support the community even before selling kayaks. So that's why we sponsor as much as we can. That's why if there's a need, we try to fill it. All those kind of good things. I mean, that's always been a pillar of from even before we opened, and when we built a business plan, pillar one was support the community. And we're doing our best. We're always open to feedback, and come see the shop, come hang out and come say hi. We pretty much always have an open door. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Chris. I'm gonna let you get back to it. I know you've had a long day, and thank you. We'll see you soon. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Sam.
All right, now. Thank you.
Yeah, see you, bud.
All right, guys. There you have it. Moving Water Outfitters, Chris, dropping some knowledge about the new Unlimited. That was cool to see. Letting you guys know about the upcoming show, and lots of good things happening right now in the community. So thankful, like I just said, for Chris and everything the team at Moving Waters is doing, Mike and Jessica, everyone else there. It's truly been an honor of mine to work with them over the last couple seasons. And like I said, I've been a customer of theirs since the very beginning, and I appreciate their support. Guys, we've got a jam-packed lineup for you as far as this HKB podcast goes. Next week, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be in South Carolina. So we're not going to do it live next week. We'll have a recorded episode. We're going to talk about how to qualify for the Hoosier Kayak Bassin State Championship. We're running the first one, the inaugural event, next month, March 12th, 13th, and 14th. There's going to be a ton of coverage on that. But for those of you that already know about it, didn't qualify last year, or are just kind of getting into things this season, we're going to go over how to qualify for 2022's Hoosier Kayak Bassin State Championship and all the details about that. We're going to follow that up with just a huge episode about the 2021 season here in Indiana. Everything from all of our great clubs, Indiana Kayak Anglers, SIAC, Grubby, the new series, IKT, Challenge Series, what we're doing here at Hoosier Kayak Bassin, KBF, all of it. We're going to cover the entire season for you. There's a lot in that episode. I'm going to bring on Brian Sprague, voice of Grubby Talk, to help me out with that, and looking forward to doing it. So, guys, please tune in. Make sure, go check out this show, guys. I mean, it's been cold. You guys have been stuck in the house. This is going to be an awesome opportunity to see some great kayaks, see some familiar faces, and really connect with some new people as well, probably. So go check it out. Check out Moving Water Outfitters on Facebook and Instagram. Please like, comment, share what we're doing with this podcast. Let's get it out to people so we can introduce some new people to the sport and connect them with this amazing community we've been talking about all night. I appreciate you all so much. And if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to reach out either to me personally. I'm really easy to find at Jones and the Fish on all types of social media. You just type that in, you'll find me, or you can reach us through the Hoosier Kayak Bassin socials as well. Once again, I appreciate you guys all for watching, and we'll see you next week. We won't be live, but we'll still drop an episode for you on Facebook and on YouTube for you to watch. And then we'll be back 2 weeks from now, 8:30, to do the 2021 overview with the man himself, Brian Sprague of Grubby Talk. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you soon. Thank you.